जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते, गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी, वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय।
जय
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
जय।
जय। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा भैया, हरे कृष्णा अनिल जी।
हरे
कृष्णा हरे राजू से हैं। आज थिंक आज लगता है हॉलीडे सीजन शुरू हो गई है।
जी।
कृष्णा जय। हरे कृष्णा जय।
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण।
चलो शुरू करें। तो हम लोगों ने 10th कैंटो का 23rd अध्याय शुरू किया। 23rd अध्याय में हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं कि कैसे जो उच्च ब्राह्मण थे उनकी वाइफ्स को कैसे भगवान ने उनका उद्धार किया, और कैसे एक शिक्षा दी ब्राह्मणों को जो वेदों में अच्छे ज्ञाता थे, जो यज्ञ कर रहे थे, लेकिन जो उनकी वाइफ्स थी जो भक्ति में ज्यादा दृढ़ थी, उनको भगवान ने दर्शन दिए। एंड बाद में ब्राह्मण जो यज्ञ कर रहे थे उनको भी लगा कि दे डिड अ मिस्टेक। लेकिन अभी अपन जो कर रहे हैं वो भगवान ने कृष्ण भगवान ने और बलराम भगवान ने ग्वाल बाल को कुछ भोजन लेने के लिए भेजा था, और ब्राह्मणों ने नहीं दिया, लेकिन जो उनकी वाइफ्स है उन्होंने काफी तरह के भोजन उनको दिए। एंड दे ऑल्सो केम टू सी लॉर्ड श्री कृष्णा। व्हेन दे केम टू सी लॉर्ड श्री कृष्णा, Lord Shri Krishna asked them to go back, right? To go back to their family and go. लेकिन जो वाइफ्स है उनकी ब्राह्मण की वो कर रही है, right? That's what we are reading right now. Sri Patni Uche. Yeah, we read this shlok last time, and you know what it mentioned was evam vibho arti bhavan gatitum nisasham satyam kurushva nigmam tapad moolam प्राप्ता वयम तुलसीदाम पदावशिष्टम केशोर निवोढुम अतिलघ्यम समस्त बंधुम। So the wives of the Brahmins replied, O Almighty One, please do not speak such cruel words. Yeah, cruel words were, what were the cruel words? Remember, what did Lord Shri Krishna tell to the wives of the Brahmins?
Go back to your family.
Go back to your family. And the wives are saying that don't say such cruel words. Rather, you should fulfill your promise that you always reciprocate with your devotees in kind. What is the promise of Lord Shri Krishna? Is that Lord Shri Krishna will always reciprocate with his devotees in kind. Yeah, it says here, yeah, Satyam Kurushva, like the Vedas say, Nigmam Tau Padamulam. The people who have come to your lotus feet, right? That Lord Shri Krishna will always reciprocate. That's what the wives are saying. They are saying that, and now that we have attained your lotus feet, we have come here, we simply wish to remain here in the forest. So we may carry upon our heads the garlands of tulsi leaves that falls from your lotus feet. All they want to do, the wives of the Brahmins, is put the garlands of tulsi leaves which falls from the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Prapta vayam tulsi dam padavasishtam. Yeah, padav, lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. जो तुलसी की जो माला गिर रही है उसको they will take it and kesh, like on the head, on the बालों में they will use, and what they are saying is alagyam samast bandhu. They are saying we are ready to give up all material relationships, so we don't want to go back, right? We just want to be here, we don't want to go back. That's what wives of the Brahmins are saying, and really want to just be there with Lord Shri Krishna. Right? Nice purpose. We'll read this. Anilji.
Here the Brahmins' wives are saying something similar to what the gopis say at the beginning of their Ras dance. Bhagavatam 10.29.31. When Lord Krishna tells them to go home as well. Like this verse, the gopis' statement begins with the words Maiva Maivam Vagho Rati Bhavan Gaditam Nar Samsam. Nigam refers to the Vedic literature which states that one who surrenders at the lotus feet of the Lord does not return to this material world. Thus the Brahmins' wives appealed to the Lord that since they had surrendered to him, it was unfair for him to order them to return to their materialistic husbands. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Lord Krishna might have pointed out to the Brahmins' wives, you young ladies are members of the aristocratic Brahman community. So how can you surrender at the feet of a mere cowherd boy? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Ramanuji.
Hare Krishna ji.
Mm-hmm.
To this, the ladies might have replied, since we have already surrendered at your lotus feet, and since we desire to become your servants, we are obviously not maintaining a false identification as members of the so-called Brahman community. We can easily ascertain this from our words. Lord Krishna might have replied, I am a coward boy, and my proper maidservant and girlfriends are the coward girls, the gopis. The wives might have answered, true, let them be so. Let them shine forth. If you are embarrassed in front of your relatives to make Brahman ladies your maidservants, we certainly don't want to embarrass you. We will not go to your village, but will rather remain in Vrindavan, like presiding deities of the forest. We simply desire to become our lives by even slight trace of connections with you. Thus, the spiritual insight of Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, we learn that the Brahmanas' wives offered to remain at a distance and simply take the tulsi leaves that would fall from the lotus feet of Krishna or be crushed by the feet of his girlfriend when he would embrace them. The ladies offered to carry them these tulsi leaves upon their heads, thus renouncing the desire to become Krishna in intimate girlfriends or maidservants, a position that a position they knew was difficult to achieve. The young Brahmanas ladies begged to remain in Vrindavan forest. If the Lord had then asked, then what will your family members say? They would have replied, we have already transcendented our so-called relatives because we are seeing you, the Supreme Lord, face to face. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Such a nice conversation. And also, I think we talked about this. The Ras dance of gopis is coming up in 29th chapter. Yeah. And again, like I think what chapter are we at?
23rd.
23rd, right? So we are just like 6 adhyayas away from the Ras Leela. Yeah? Rinaji?
गृह्णन्ति नो न पतयः पितरो सुता वा न भ्रातृबन्धु सुहृदः कुत एव चान्ये तस्मात् भवत्प्रपदयोः पतितात्मनां नो नान्या भवेद् गतिरन्दिन्दम तद् विधेहि. Our husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, other relatives, and friends who will no longer take us back, and how could anyone else be willing to give us shelter? Therefore, since we have thrown ourselves at your lotus feet and have no other destination, please, O chastiser of enemies, grant our desire. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the wives of the Brahmins, they're continuously requesting Lord Shri Krishna that we don't want to go back, we want to stay within your lotus feet. Yeah, is what that's. The wives of the Brahmins simply wanted to serve Lord Shri Krishna. And this is pure Krishna consciousness in ecstatic love of Godhead. Yeah? Total surrender to Lord Shri Krishna. Ajay?
श्री भगवान उवाच पतयो नाभ्य सुयरेन पितृभातृ सुतादयः लोकाश्च वो मयोपेता देवा अप्यनुमवन्ते. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, rest assured that your husbands will not be inimical towards you, nor will your fathers, brothers, sons, other relatives of your general populace. I will personally advise them of the situation. Indeed, even the demigods will express their approval. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Lord Shri Krishna again asks him to go back. न प्रीति अनुरागाय आंग संगो निनामि है तन्मनोमयि युज्जाना अचिरान माम वाप्स्यथ. For you to remain in my bodily association would certainly not please people in this world, nor would it be the best way for you to increase your love for me. Rather, you should fix your minds on me, and very soon you will achieve me. Yeah? What Lord Shri Krishna is advising the wives of the Brahmins is more important is you should fix your minds on me. Tanmano, tanman. The man mai yujjana. And then what will happen? Achiranamam apashyat. Like then, very quickly you are going to achieve me. Is what Lord Shri Krishna is advising to wives of the Brahmins. Hare Krishna, Shiva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The Lord pointed out that people in general would not appreciate a loving affair between Lord Krishna, who superficially was appearing as a cowherd boy, and the wives from the Brahmana community. Also, the Brahmana lady's own devotion and love would increase most efficiently in separation. In other words, it would be best all around if they continued to fix their minds on Lord Krishna and thus went on with the process they had been practicing throughout their lives. The Lord and his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, expertly engage the Lord's devotee in different types of service so that all of them can quickly return to his lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anilji?
श्रवणात् दर्शनात् ध्यान नान्मयि भावो नुकीर्तनात् न तथा सन्निकर्षेण प्रतियात् ततो ग्रहान्. It is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, and chanting my names and glories that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, what Lord Shri Krishna is saying is by Shravan. Yeah, listening about the glory of Lord Shri Krishna. Darshan. We go to the temples. Arch. Arch darshan, right? We do the deities darshan. Dhyan, according to dhyan, so Shravan, darshan, dhyan. Bhav anukirtuta, yeah, doing the kirtan, doing the chanting. Me and chanting my names and glories, that love for me will develop. That's how the glories will develop, and not by the physical proximity. And therefore, pratiyat tato grihan. That's why you should return back. Okay. Okay.
Shri Shuk Uwach Ityukta Dvij Palyasta Yajnavatam Punargataha Te Chan Suyavaru Stabhi Stribhi Stramparian. Srila Sukdev Goswami said, thus instructed the wives of the Brahmanas return to the place of sacrifice. The Brahmanas did not find any fault with their wives, and together with them they finished the sacrifice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Srila Sukdev Goswami said, and he is speaking to whom? Sukdev Goswami ji?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj, right? Sukdev Goswami is reciting this whole Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And so he's saying that the wives of the Brahmins returned back and they completed their yajna. Reena ji?
त्रैका विधृता भर्त्रा भगवन्तं यथाश्रुतं हृदोपगुह्य विजहो देहं कर्मानुबन्धनम्. One of the ladies had been forcibly kept back by her husband. When she heard the others describe the Supreme Lord Krishna, she embraced him within her heart and gave up her material body, the basis of bondage to material activity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ramana ji?
Bhagavan api gopi Govinda tane vanena chaturvidena tayan swayam cha bhuje prabhuha. Govind, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, fed the cowherd boys with that food of four varieties. All the then the all-powerful Lord Himself partook of the preparations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Chaturvid, four varieties. And who had got this food? Who got the food for all the cowherd boys? Where did they get the food from?
Yeah, from the ladies who were Brahmins' wives, they were cooking.
Right. Yeah. The Brahmins refused to give the cowherd boy the food. So that's the whole thing we are reading about, right? Like the wives of the Brahmins is where they went, and then they got all this food varieties for Lord Sri Krishna, Balram, and all the cowherd boys. And Shiva Prabhu?
Evam Leela Narvapurni Lok Manushyalan Reme Gogopagopinam Ramayan Rupavakritah. Thus, the Supreme Lord, appearing like a human being to perform his pastime, imitated the ways of human society. He enjoyed pleasing his cows, cowherd boyfriends, and cowherd girlfriends, and his beauty, words, and actions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Basically, what Sukdev Goswami is saying is this is how Lord Sri Krishna did the Leela. Yeah. And played with Reme Gopinam. Yeah. Yathanuस्मृत्य विप्रास्ते अन्वप्तप्यन कृतागस यत् विश्वेश्वर्योर्याच नामहन्नम Nividambayo. The Brahmins then came to their senses and began to feel great remorse. They thought, we have sinned, for we have denied the request of the two lords of the universe, who deceptively appeared as ordinary human beings. Right? So that's what Brahmins are thinking now, that they actually really have done some sins. Yeah, Anilji?
दृष्ट्वा स्त्रीणां भगवती कृष्णे भक्तिं लौकिकीम् आत्मानं न च तया हीनमनुतप्ता व्यगर्हयन्. Taking note of their wife's pure transcendental devotion for Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and seeing their own lack of devotion, the Brahmins felt most sorrowful and began to condemn themselves. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and Brahman realized that their wives actually have the devotional surrender, Bhagavati Krishna, Bhaktim Alokikam, and they are Hina Manutapta. I mean, they are finding that, they lack that devotion, even though they are all smart, knowledge of Vedas and everything, they know how to do the yajna, but they are having lack of devotional service, and so they started condemning themselves. Rinaji?
दिग्जन्म नास्त्रिवृद्ध यत् तद् दिग्व्रतं दिग्बहुज्ञतां दिक्कुलं दिक्क्रियादाक्ष्यं विमुखा ये त्वधो अक्षजे. The Brahmana said, to hell with our threefold birth, our vow of celibacy, and our extensive learning. To hell with our aristocratic background and our expertise in the rituals of sacrifice. These are all condemned because we were inimical to the transcendental personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what the Brahmins are thinking are like whatever they are, Dig Janma. Three Janma is also like, we talked about the Dviz, right? Twice born. Now here they are three born, like three times born. So one is first time taking birth, second time is doing that ceremony, Janav and all that, and third is really taking brahmacharya or that level is the three. That's why they are called three births. And they are saying like, what is the point of our threefold birth? We did all these things, but if they don't have the devotion, if they don't have the transcendental personality of Godhead surrendered, then what is the point? Is what they are saying. So Adhokshaze is Lord Krishna. Yeah. Says here, as explained in the definition about the word, three-word janma or threefold birth refers to physical birth, Brahminical initiation, and then initiation into the performance of Vedic sacrifice. Everything is useless if one is ignorant of the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord Krishna. Ajay?
नूनं भगवतो माया योगिनामपि मोहिनी यद वयं गुरुवो नृणां स्वार्थे मुह्यामहे द्विजा. The illusory potency of Supreme Lord certainly bewilders even the great mystics. What to speak of us? As Brahmanas, we are supposed to be the spiritual masters of all classes of men. Yet we have been bewildered about our own real interests. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's all about Bhagavato Maya Yogana Nampi. Yeah, that's the Maya, Mohini, that attracts and bewilders even the great mystics. Ramanuj?
Oh, Pasyata Nari Narinam Abhi Krishne Jagat Guru Duranta Bhavam Ya Vidyan Mrityu Pasan Gruho Bidham. Just see the unlimited love these women have developed for Lord Krishna, the spiritual master of the entire universe. This love has broken for them the very bonds of death, their attachments to family life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, what they are saying is, look at this woman, yeah, Nari Nama Api, they have dedicated to Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, who is the Jagat Guru. Yeah, have developed love for Lord Sri Krishna, the spiritual master of the entire universe. That's the Jagat Guru, right? Spiritual master of the entire universe, the whole Jagat, Guru of the whole Jagat. And because they are so loving Lord Sri Krishna, because they are so dedicated to Lord Sri Krishna, what has happened? This love has broken for them the very bonds of death. Mrityu Pashana. Yeah, that Mrityu Pashan is broken by their dedication to the Lord Sri Krishna's love. And that also has broken the very bonds of death, which is the attachment to family life. Yeah. Shiva Prabhu?
Nasam dvijati samskaro na nivaso guravapi na tapo natmi mam sa na saucham na kriyam shubha tathapi hutmah shroloke krishne yogeshwareshware bhaktir dradha na chasmakam samskara timtamapi. These women have never undergone the purificatory rites of the twice born classes, nor have they lived as brahmacharis in the ashrama of a spiritual master, nor have they executed austerities, speculated on the nature of the self, followed the formalities of cleanliness, or engaged in pious rituals. Nevertheless, they have firm devotion for Lord Krishna, whose glories are chanted by the exalted hymns of the Vedas, and who is the supreme master of all masters of mystic power. We, on the other hand, have no such devotion for the Lord, although we have executed all these processes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And who is saying this?
The Brahmanas.
Right. Yeah, the Brahmanas are saying that look at those women, right? Their wives. They have never undergone the purificatory rites of the twice born classes, right? They never did all this. Says, yeah. Nasam Dvijati, na Dvijati Sanskara, right? Twice born Sanskar, did not do this. Na Nivaso Guruvapi, na Tapo, right? Didn't do any tap, na Shocham, Dhyan, na Kriya, na Shubha. They didn't do any of those things. But what did they do? But they did Uttam Shloke for Krishna, Yogeshwar, Ishware, right? The Ishwar, the Yogeshwar, right? They dedicated themselves, right? And they recited the shlok, the Shravanam Kirtanam for Yogeshwar, Ishwar. Bhakti Dida, right? They did the devotional service, and that's why they could achieve the Lord Shri Krishna's devotion. And but what they are saying is, we on the other hand, the Brahmins have no such devotion for the Lord. And even though they have executed all these processes, right? What processes? Twice born, living as a brahmachari, doing the austerities. They did all that, but because they didn't have the devotion, they missed out the darshan of Lord Shri Krishna. But on the other hand, the wives of the Brahmins, they were just dedicated to Lord Shri Krishna, just doing the bhakti. They had no idea about all these other processes. They could get Lord Shri Krishna's darshan. Yeah, that's what is being mentioned. Ramanuji? Ramanuj? So, according to Srila Sridhar Swami, the husbands were not
Oh,
aware that
sorry. I was reading, but it was or
Oh,
maybe,
your
sorry.
notes.
According to Sridhara Swami, the husbands were not aware of their wives had occasionally associated with residents of Vrindavan, such as the flower ladies, and had heard about the beauty and qualities of Krishna. The Brahmanas were astonished at their wives' loving devotion for Lord Krishna, not realizing that the devotion has developed as a result of hearing and chanting about the Lord in the association of his pure devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, how the devotion can develop is in the association of the pure devotees, right? Like we are all reading together Srimad Bhagavatam, we are all chanting together, right? We just did the whole Gita reading. So that's how the devotion and the surrender for Lord Sri Krishna comes together, right? So, Rinaji?
Yeah, sorry. ननु स्वार्थविमूढानां प्रमत्तानां गृहे हया अहो नः स्मारयामास गोपवाक्ये सतां गतेः. Indeed, infatuated as we are with our household affairs, we have deviated completely from the real aim of our life. But now just see how the Lord, through the words of these simple cowherd boys, has reminded us of the ultimate destination of all true transcendentalists. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Basically, what is being mentioned is the ultimate destination of all the true transcendentalists is to surrender to Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah. अन्यथा पूर्ण कामस्य केवल्याद शिशाम पते इशितव्येह किमस्माभिः विशस्ये तद्विडम्बनम्. Otherwise, why would the Supreme Controller, whose every desire is already fulfilled and who is the Master of Liberation and all other transcendental benedictions, enact this pretense with us who are always to be controlled by him? Yeah. What the Brahmins are thinking, that's what they're thinking. Like the Supreme Lord, he doesn't have any desire, right? He is Purna Kamasya, Purna Midam. He doesn't need anything. And he is actually the master of the liberation. He is the master of all transcendental benedictions. Why would he ask us to give some food? Right? Like Lord Krishna sends some coward boys to get some food, but he is the Ishwar of the universe. So so that's what Brahmins are thinking, like this is a vidambanam. Yeah. Like enact this pretense with us, but ultimately we are always being controlled by him. Yeah. Ajay?
Hitvanyan bhajate yam Shri Padasya Sharshya Sakrit Swatma Dosh Pavagarnen Tadyatchan Janmohini. Hoping for the touch of his lotus feet, the goddess of fortune perpetually worships him alone, leaving aside all others and renouncing her pride and fickleness. That he begs is certainly astonishing to everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Again, who is thinking all this? Who is thinking all this?
These
That,
are the Brahmins.
yeah, the Brahmins, right? They're thinking that hoping for the touch of his lotus feet. Lord Sri Krishna's lotus feet. Yeah. Pad Sparsh. Yeah. Touching the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Hoping for that, the goddess of fortune. Who is the goddess of fortune?
Lakshmi ji.
Sri Lakshmi ji, right? Says here, Sri hai. Sri hai pad sparsha sakrita. The goddess of fortune to touch the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, right? Sri Krishna perpetually worships him alone, leaving aside all others and renouncing her pride and fickleness. Renouncing her pride and fickleness. Swa Atma Doshu Apvargena. Yeah, who renounces all this Jag Mohini, Jan Mohini. Yeah, she is a Jan Mohini, still she renounces all this. Why? To bhajate yam Shri Pad Sparsha Shasakrita, like the goddess of fortune, Sri Lakshmi. Yeah, she renounces her pride and fickleness just to touch the lotus feet and serve the lotus feet of Lord Shri Vishnu. Yeah, is what is mentioned. Says here, the supreme master of the goddess of fortune herself obviously does not have to beg for food. I mean, basically what saying is even the goddess Lakshmi is touching his lotus feet, right? So it is astonishing that he is begging for the food. Lord Shri Krishna, whom even Sri Lakshmi ji is worshipping, he is now trying to beg for some food. It's just some Leela, right? Krishna Bhagwan's Leela. The supreme master of the goddess of fortune herself obviously does not have to beg for food, as pointed out here by the Brahmins, who are finally manifesting real spiritual intelligence. Now they are understanding who the Lord Shri Krishna is. Anilji?
देशः कालः पृथक् द्रव्यं मन्त्रतन्त्र विजो विजोग्न्यः देवता यजमानश्च क्रतुधर्मश्च यन्मयः स एव भगवान् साक्षात् विष्णुर्योगेश्वरेश्वरः जातो यदुष्ट युधिस्वी ह्यापि मूढ़ा न विद्महे. All the aspects of sacrifice, the auspicious place and time, the various items of paraphernalia, the Vedic hymns, the prescribed rituals, the priests and sacrificial fires, the demigods, the patron of the sacrifice, the sacrificial offering, and the pious results obtained. All are simply manifestations of his opulences. Yet, even though we have heard that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, the Lord of all mystic controllers, had taken birth in the Yadu dynasty, we were so foolish that we could not recognize Sri Krishna to be none other than him. Hare Krishna.
Hey Krishna. Yeah, so the Brahmins are continuing to condemn themselves that, hey, how can we not recognize this? Yeah. Saev Bhagwan Sakshat Vishnu Yoge Ishware. Yogeshwar Ishwara hai. Right. They had heard about this, that Bhagwan Vishnu has taken a birth. In spite of all this, how did we not realize that this is Lord Shri Krishna is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Ramanuji? Ramanuji?
तस्मै नमो भगवते कृष्णाय कुंठा मेधसे माया मोहिता धियो मन्नाय कर्म वर्तमसु. Let us offer our obedience unto Lord
Your
Krishna.
voice is fading there, Ramanuji.
Let us offer the obeisances unto Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His intelligence is never bewildered, whereas we, confused by his power of illusion, are simply wandering about on the paths of fruitive work.
Right. Yeah, so all the Brahmins are finally saying, they were after condemning themselves, they are saying, Tasme Namo Bhagavate. Yeah, let us offer our obeisances unto Lord Krishna. Yeah, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavate Krishnaya Akuntame Gase. Yeah, Tasme Namo Bhagavate Krishnaya Akuntame Se. And of course, his intelligence is never bewildered. Yeah, Yan Maya Mohito Dhiyo. Yeah, and then, of course, with his power of Maya, we are just Brahmamah Karma Vatmarshu, are simply wandering about on the path of fruitive work, just on the karma card. But let's offer our obeisances to Lord Shri Krishna. Shiva Prabhu.
Savena adhaha purushah swamaya mohitatmanam avigyatanubhavanam shaturmarhatyati kramam. We were bewildered by Lord Krishna's illusory potency and thus could not understand his influence as the original personality of Godhead. Now we hope he will kindly forgive our offense. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Again, so Brahmins are now thinking that we should go to Lord Shri Krishna, we pray to Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah. And what they are saying is Savena Adya Purusha. Adya Purusha is Lord Shri Krishna, right? His Maya. Because of his Maya, we could not understand him. Avigyata Anubhavanam. And so they are thinking that Lord Shri Krishna will definitely pardon them. Yeah, he will kindly forgive their offenses, is what Brahmins are thinking. Rinaji?
स्वाघ मनुस्मृत्य कृष्णे ते कृतहेलनाः तिदृक्षवो व्रजमथ कंसादभीता न चाचलन. Thus, reflecting on the sin they had committed by neglecting Lord Krishna, they became very eager to see him. But being afraid of King Kansa, they did not dare go to Vraj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice purpose. So let's read this. Hare Krishna, Mayur.
I think he said that he's just
Hare
listening
Krishna.
today,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
I'm here just for this. Yeah.
That's fine.
Realizing their offense against Lord Krishna and finally appreciating his almighty position, the Brahmins naturally wanted to rush to Vraj and surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord. But they were afraid that Kans would certainly kill them when his spies reported that they had gone to Krishna. The Brahmins' wives were absorbed in ecstatic Krishna consciousness and thus went to Krishna anyway, just as the gopis, simply to dance with the Lord, traveled in the dead of night through a forest inhabited by wild animals. But the Brahmins were not on such an advanced platform of Krishna consciousness and thus overcame by fear of Kans, could not see the Lord face to face. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Basically, what is mentioned is we know the Brahmins' wives, they were totally dedicated to Krishna consciousness, and then they offered the food and they could get darshan of Lord Shri Krishna. Brahmins, of course, paid the obeisances, they understood the mistake they did, but still they couldn't see Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah. And thus ends the purpose of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 10th canto, 23rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Brahman's Wives Blessed. Yeah, Bolo Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
So we'll continue to read chapter 24, which is about worshipping Govardhan Hill. So all of us have heard about this Govardhan Hill, and so this should be a nice one, right? Let's continue to read. Anilji?
Sri Shukovacha Bhagavanapi tatraiva baladeven sanyutah apashyani vasana gopanindra yagakrata dyaman. Sukadev Goswami said, while saying it in that very place with his brother Baldev, Lord Krishna happened to see the cowherd men busily arranging for a sacrifice to Indra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so what sees the Indriya Kritodaman. Lord Shri Krishna, along with his brother Baldev, are seeing that everyone is preparing for some sacrifice for Lord Indra. Ajay?
Tada tad bhikyo api Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarvadarshana Prashreya Vanto Prichad Vradhan Nandapuro Gaman. Being the omniscient super soul, the Supreme Lord Krishna already understood the situation, yet he will still humbly inquire from elders headed by his father Nanda Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Krishna Bhagwan, of course, how the Krishna Bhagwan is being referred to? Bhagwan Sarva Atma Sarva Darshana. Yeah, that's what Lord Shri Krishna is. He is the omniscient super soul, the Supreme Lord Krishna. Yeah. And so he goes to Nanda Baba and he inquires. Says Lord Krishna was eager to enact his pastime of lifting Govardhan hill and defeating the false pride of Indra. And thus he cleverly inquired from his father about the imminent sacrifice. Like, hey, what's going on? Right? Rinaji?
मे पितः कोऽयं सम्भ्रमो व उपागतः किं फलं कस्य वोद्देशः केन वा साध्यते मखः. Lord Krishna said, "My dear father, kindly explain to me what this great endeavor of yours is all about. What is it meant to accomplish? If this is a ritual sacrifice, then for whose satisfaction is it intended and by what means it is going to be executed?" Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Krishna Bhagavan inquires from Nanda Baba what sacrifices being prepared and for whom. एतद्ब्रूहि महान् कामो मह्यं शुश्रूषवे पितः न हि गोप्यं हि साधूनां कृत्यं सर्वात्मनामिह अतस्तश्वपदृष्टीनां मित्रो दास्त विदिश्वाम. Please tell me about it, O Father. I have a great desire to know and am ready to hear in good faith. Certainly, no secrets are to be kept by saintly personalities who see all others as equal to themselves, who have no conception of mine or another's, and who do not consider who is a friend, who is an enemy, and who is neutral. Says your Lord Krishna's father might have thought that his son was a mere child and thus could not properly question the validity of a Vedic sacrifice. But the Lord's clever statement here would certainly have convinced Nand Baba that Sri Krishna was making a serious, not a whimsical inquiry, and that a serious answer should thus be given. Ramanuji?
Udasino ri vad varjya atmavat surat uchyate. One who is neutral may be avoided like an enemy, but a friend should be considered like one's own self. Hare Krishna.
Shiva Prabhu?
Gyatva gyatva cha karmani jano ayam nutishtati vidushaha karma siddhiha syad yada navi dusho bhavet. When people in this world perform activities, sometimes they understand what they are doing and sometimes they don't. Those who know what they are doing achieve success in their work, whereas ignorant people do not. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mayur?
तत्र तावत् क्रियायोगो भवन्तः किं विचारेत अथ वा लोकेशस्तन्मे प्रचातः साधु भान्यतम्. Such being the case, this ritualistic endeavor of yours should be clearly explained to me. It is a ceremony based on scriptural injunction or simply a custom of ordinary society. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And who is saying this? Who is asking this?
Lord Krishna is asking his father.
Right. Yeah. So everyone there in Nandana is preparing for a sacrifice to Lord Indra. And so everybody asks, so Lord Krishna is asking, like, what is this ritualistic ceremonies for whom? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Tarun.
Hare Krishna. Shri Nand Vacha Parjanyo Bhagwanam Indro Meghas Tasyatma Murtaya Te Bhivarsanti Bhutana Prinana Jivanam Payam. Nanda Maharaj replied, the great Lord Indra is the controller of the rain. The clouds are his personal representatives, and can you scroll up, please? They directly provide rainwater, which gives happiness and sustenance to all creatures. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Nand Baba says they're preparing for a sacrifice to Lord Indra. Yeah, Shiva Prabhu.
Tam tat vayamane cha var mucham patimishwaram dravyesta dretasa siddhair yajante kratubhirnaraha. Not only we, my dear son, but also many other men worship him, the Lord and Master of the rain giving clouds. We offer him grain and other paraphernalia of worship rod produced through his own discharge in the form of rain. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so we all worship Lord Indra is what he's saying. Anilji.
तच्छेषेणोपजीवन्ति त्रिवर्गफलहेतवे पुंसां पुरुषकाराणां पर्जन्यः फलभावनः. By accepting the remnants of sacrifices performed to Indra, people sustain their lives and accomplish the threefold aims of religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. Thus, Lord Indra is the agent responsible for the fruitive success of industrious people. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Ya enam visarjed dharma paramya gatam naraha kamad veshat dayalopats vai naproti shobhanam. The rajas principle is based on sound tradition. Anyone who rejects it out of lust, enmity, fear, or greed will certainly fail to achieve good fortune. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Nanda Baba is telling Lord Shri Krishna that everyone has to perform this. Otherwise, will fail to achieve good fortune. Tinaji?
You ask me, Bhaiya? स्त्रीशुक उवाच वचो निशम्य नन्दस्य तथान्येषां व्रजैकसाम् इन्द्राया मन्युं जनयन् पितरं प्राह केशवः. Sukdev Goswami said, when Lord Krishna heard the statements of his father Nand and other senior residents of Vrij, he addressed his father as follows to arouse anger in Lord Indra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Ramanuji?
Srila Sridhara Swami explains that Lord Krishna's intention was not simply to insult a demigod, but rather to knock down the great mountain of false pride that had arisen within the Lord's tiny servant, who was supposed to represent the Lord as Indra. By lifting Govardhan hill, Lord Krishna would thus initiate a blissful annual festival called Govardhan Puja, and he would further enjoy the pleasant pastime of dwelling for several days beneath the hill with all his loving devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shiva Prabhu?
Shri Bhagavan Kar Karmana jayate jantuha karma naiv praliyate Sukham, Dukkham, Bhayam, Shemam, Karma Naiva Vipaddate. Lord Krishna said, "It is by the force of karma that a living entity takes birth, and it is by karma alone that he meets his destruction. His happiness, distress, fear, and sense of security all arise as the effects of karma." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Lord Krishna is explaining to everyone, including Nand Baba and everyone, that it is not about Lord Indra. The rain is not because of Lord Indra. And how we are getting all this food and all that is based on the karma. Karmana jayate jantu karmaneo praliyate. Like the birth and death, both are based on the karma. It's the force of karma that a living entity takes birth, and it is by karma that he meets his destruction. Sukham, dukkham, bhayam, kshemam. All of those, right? The happiness, distress, fear, and sense of security, all are arising out of karma. Karmana va vipaddate. Yeah, is what Lord Shri Krishna is saying. Mayur?
Lord Krishna minimized the importance of the demigods by speaking the philosophy known as Karmavade or Karma Mimansa, which basically is atheism with a belief in reincarnation. According to this philosophy, there are subtle laws of nature that reward or punish us according to how we act. As you sow, so shall you reap. In a future life, one reaps the fruits of his present work, and this is the sum and substance of reality. Lord Krishna, being God himself, could hardly be a serious proponent of this mediocre philosophy. In the role of a young boy, he was simply teasing the pure devotees by preaching it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tarun?
Srila Jiva Goswami points out that Lord Krishna was thinking, why are these eternal associates of mine, appearing as my father and other relatives and friends, so caught up in this worship of Indra? Thus, although the Lord's main purpose was to take away the false pride of Indra, he also wanted to remind his eternal devotees that they need not divert their attention to other so-called gods, since in fact his devotees were already living with the supreme absolute truth, the Almighty Lord himself. Hare Krishna.
Rinaji?
ते चेदीश्वरः कश्चित् फलरूप्यन्यकर्मणां कर्तारं भजते सोऽपि न ह्रियकर्तुः प्रभुर्हि सः. Even if there is some supreme controller who awards all others the results of their activities, he must also depend upon a performers engaging in activity. After all, there is no question of being the bestower of fruitive results unless fruitive activities have actually been performed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Karmanam. So that's what Lord Shri Krishna is saying and explaining to all the Nandagaon and Nanda Baba and all the other senior people there, right? So we'll pause here and maybe tomorrow we'll see how the Govardhan Parvaat is lifted. So a little bit over time, but let's we'll hear the Krishna Astakam. Yeah, it's around 7 to 8 minutes. So after all the wives of the Brahmins doing prayers of Lord Shri Krishna.
भजे व्रजैकमण्डनं समस्तपापखण्डनं स्वभक्तचित्तरञ्जनं सदैव नन्दनन्दनं भजे व्रजैकमण्डनं समस्तपापखण्डनं स्वभक्तचित्तरञ्जनं सदैव नन्दनन्दनं सुपिच्छगुच्छमस्तकं सुनादवेणुहस्तकम् अनङ्गरङ्गसागरं नमामि कृष्णनागरम् मनोजगर्वमोचनं विशाललोललोचनं विधूतगोपशोचनं नमामि पद्मलोचनं मनोजगर्वमोचनं विशाललोललोचनं विधूतगोपशोचनं नमामि पद्मलोचनं करारविन्दभूधरं स्मितावलोकसुन्दरं महेन्द्रमानदारणं नमामि कृष्णवारणम् कदम्बसूनकुण्डलं सुचारुगण्डमण्डलं व्रजाङ्गनैकवल्लभं नमामि कृष्णदुर्लभं कदम्बसूनकुण्डलं सुचारुगण्डमण्डलं व्रजाङ्गनैकवल्लभं नमामि कृष्णदुर्लभं यशोदया समोदया सगोपया सनन्दया युतं सुखैकदायकं नमामि गोपनायकम् सदैव पादपङ्कजं मदीयमानसे निजं दधानमुक्तमालकं नमामि नन्दबालकं सदैव पादपङ्कजं मदीयमानसे निजं दधानमुक्तमालकं नमामि नन्दबालकं समस्तदोषशोषणं समस्तलोकपोषणं समस्तगोपमानसं नमामि नन्दलालसम् कर्णधारकं यशोमती किशोरकं नमामि चित्तचोरकं भुवो भरावतारकं भवाब्धिकर्णधारकं यशोमती किशोरकं नमामि चित्तचोरकं दृगन्तकान्तभङ्गिमं सदा सदालसङ्गिनं दिने दिने नवं नवं नमामि नन्दसम्भवम् गुणाकरं सुखाकरं कृपाकरं कृपापरं सुरद्विषन्निकन्दनं नमामि गोपनन्दनं गुणाकरं सुखाकरं कृपाकरं कृपापरं सुरद्विषन्निकन्दनं नमामि गोपनन्दनं नवीनगोपनागरं नवीनकेलिलम्पटं नमामि मेघसुन्दरं तडित्प्रभालसत्पटम् समस्तगोपनन्दनं हृदम्बुजैकमोदनं नमामि कुञ्जमध्यगं प्रसन्नभानुशोभनं समस्तगोपनन्दनं हृदम्बुजैकमोदनं नमामि कुञ्जमध्यगं प्रसन्नभानुशोभनं निकामकामदायकं दिगन्तचारुसायकं रसालवेणुगायकं नमामि कुञ्जनायकम् विदग्धगोपिकामनो मनोज्ञतल्पशायिनं नमामि कुञ्जकानने प्रवृद्धवह्निपायिनं विदग्धगोपिकामनो मनोज्ञतल्पशायिनं नमामि कुञ्जकानने प्रवृद्धवह्निपायिनं किशोरकान्तिरञ्जितं दृगञ्जनं सुशोभितं गजेन्द्रमोक्षकारिणं नमामि श्रीविहारिणम् यदा तदा यथा तथा तथैव कृष्ण सत्कथा मया सदैव गीयतां तथा कृपा विधेयतां यदा तदा यथा तथा तथैव कृष्ण सत्कथा मया सदैव गीयतां तथा कृपा विधीयतां प्रमाणिकाष्टकद्वयं जपत्यधीत्य यः पुमान् भवेत् स नन्दनन्दने भवे भवे सुभक्तिमान् भवे भवे सुभक्तिमान् भवे भवे सुभक्तिमान्।
बोलो श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की
Jai.
Jai.
जय। वेरी नाइस। कृष्ण कम
Very nice.
we'll continue to read about Govardhan Parvaat tomorrow 9 p.m. and after tomorrow we'll probably pause for the holidays. I think the holidays coming up again, so we'll pause. So let's join in tomorrow at least. We'll try to cover few guys. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.